Hi everybody, today I'm going to be talking to you about triggers and why they are incredible feedback for you. Now, you may have noticed I've changed the start of my videos. I have actually recorded, by the time you see this, it will be towards the end of August. I've recorded a lot of videos because I wanted to take the month of August off from recording to just have a little bit of a break. So I had a subscriber question in July that basically said, why is your intro so long? It's not necessary. So I thought, well, that's feedback. I'm going to use that as feedback and I'm going to change the start of my video. So I am not going to talk about who I am or what I do at the beginning of my video. So let me know if you actually prefer that going forward or you prefer the longer intro. So it's up to you. Back to the video. So today I'm talking about triggers and why we should use them as incredible feedback to be able to transform our lives. So the first question I want you to think about is, have you ever wondered why you are actually triggered in the first place? And when I mean triggered, I don't mean somebody just saying, you know, the odd kind of unpleasant comment and that making you feel a little bit, that wasn't very nice. When I say triggered, I mean you are literally exploding internally with hurt and pain and despair. It's like a despair that you are kind of holding in about you because somebody has absolutely pushed that button and you are just kind of distraught. You're in a distraught state and you're, basically it's that. It's not just somebody saying something not very nice. It literally, it's like, I can only describe it as feeling hurt beyond hurt. Like the hurt is not just a hurt, it is beyond hurt. The pain is beyond a heartfelt pain of disrespect, of unkindness. Like it's on a different level is what I'm basically trying to say. So when I say when you've been triggered, I'm literally talking about an immense amount of hurt and pain that is basically, you feel like you could actually be destroyed by it. It's that. So that's what I mean by what a trigger is. So when we are triggered, basically these triggers are showing up because they're lessons. They're lessons for us to understand the hurts and pains and deep-rooted belief that we have about ourselves that is basically being triggered by somebody or something, but it is a lesson for us. So every time we feel that immense kind of hurt or pain from what somebody said, but it's stronger than just a little comment. It's really strong and deep rooted and you just feel it here. You just want to kind of curl in on yourself. It's a lesson that if ignored is going to come back to you and come back to you and come back to you and get stronger. And that feeling is going to get stronger and stronger and stronger inside you until it's unbearable. And then the trigger, you may kind of emotionally react, like screaming and shouting, being really angry, or you may literally just go inside on yourself and want to hide away from the world. So it is not. So another thing, a trigger is not caused by what the person has said. It's basic. The trigger is what the lesson is not from what the person has said. The lesson is the feeling that we're feeling because of what the person has said. But the feeling doesn't come from what they've said because it's a deep-rooted belief that we have inside ourselves. I hope that makes sense. So somebody could trigger you, but it's not them that we need to focus on. It's the feeling that is coming up out of us that we want to work through, that we want to focus on. I intend that makes sense. If you need me to reword that, then just comment below. So these triggers have been buried so deep that we can go along in life and everything can be kind of hunky-dory, then all of a sudden somebody will say something or an event will happen and it would literally can just come out of the blue. The trigger can just come out of the blue, but it is a deep rooted pain and hurt that we are holding on to that we need to work through. So I'm just going to share an example. I know you like my examples because they're real. I don't BS on this channel. Everything that I talk about from my life is real. So when majority of my life, not all, but the majority of my life, I was surrounded by consistently people that were baiting, gaslighting, hurting me. It felt like people just wanted to destroy me, that they actually didn't even really want me alive. That's how bad it felt at times with the majority of people in my life. So that was my family, who I'm no longer a part of. That was loving relationships, not all, but the majority. And so-called friends that thought that they could just treat me as they wanted and speak to me as they saw fit. So that was basically what my life was. So you can imagine, and as I was getting older, it was getting worse. The hurts, especially my last loving relationship, was horrendous. So I was constantly being triggered by my family, by these so-called friends, and especially in this loving relationship. I don't know why I say loving, because it was the opposite really, but just so I'm making myself clear. Now, what I was able to get to a point where enough was enough. No more. It was enough. I was done with feeling like I was the worst person in the world. I was done with feeling like I had to watch what I said all the time. I was done with being around people that wanted to bait me, gaslight me, try to destroy me. Because all these people are actually doing is reflecting their insecurities onto me anyway. So that's my belief. That's my assumption. So that is true for me. So what did I do? I got to the stage. So I don't have my family in my life. I could have advised them. Can't be bothered. Not going to lie. I cannot be bothered to waste my time and energy on people that have caused me so much hurt and pain in my life. I can't be bothered. Just jog on, get on with your life, and I'll get on with mine. Friends, old friends, exactly the same. I can't be bothered. I don't have the time, the patience, or the energy to put into people that have not treated me how I deserve to be treated. And yes, everyone is you pushed out. That's another story. So, loving relationship, it was that last kind of straw. That and my family were the last straw. So the loving relationship was horrendous. I was constantly being triggered. I want to give this person a label, but I don't feel like it's right to do that on this channel, on this medium. But I was constantly being triggered. Now, I would react. I would go off my rocker because he was so horrendously cruel to me, not physically, emotionally. And I put up with, kept trying. And what I was doing, the more I was allowing this behavior, the more that pain, that trigger, the shame that I felt about myself, the lack of respect that people were showing me, which created more and more shame about myself, which is why sometimes I would isolate from the world and not speak to anybody for days because of these other people, but because of the feeling that I had inside me. I didn't know what to do with this feeling. I had no idea how to deal with this. And I'm pointing in here because that's where it was. Until I got to the end of my tether, literally, I was like, this life is not my life anymore. I'm having a new life. I am not this person. I got to the stage where I was ashamed. of my ex, absolutely embarrassed to be with him. I'm ashamed of, you know, some of my family members, absolutely embarrassed of them too. And I'm not ashamed to admit that, because I'm ashamed that I allowed their consistent disrespect on me to try to destroy me. So therefore I carried all this shame about me, thinking there was something wrong with me, thinking that I was the bad person, because that was constantly what was being reflected back at me. And it didn't matter what I did to rectify it. And the more I tried to rectify things, the more they could come back and try to destroy me. And then that's so that the pain in here, the hurt, the shame, the lack of respect that I'd had the majority of my life from these people was growing and growing and growing. So get to the stage, enough is enough. So what did I do? I put the focus onto me, and I worked on me, and I worked on releasing all of these toxic people from my life, not revising them, just removing them. So I had a clean slate, so I could focus on releasing these inner feelings of feeling ashamed about who I was, feeling ashamed about how I'd been treated, feeling disrespected. I could literally free them by focusing on building my self-concept. I talk about self-concept consistently on this channel, because if we don't change the way we view ourselves, we are never going to get the life that we desire. Because our inner beliefs, our inner conversations, our inner thoughts, our stories that harden into fact get pushed out to the world. And that is how we create our reality as it is. So if we want to change what we've got, we need to work here. So this is why your triggers are incredible feedback. They are lessons for you. And the more you ignore the triggers, the more they will grow, the lesson will get bigger. I am proof of that too. So you want to work on, when you get to that stage, if you don't want to be triggered anymore to that extent or at all, or you might get a little niggle, but you'll understand why it's there. And then you can work through that with your self-concept, is just focusing on your self-concept. I am always respected. Everybody loves and adores me. I am cherished. I am worthy. The gift to the world is who I am. I'm an amazing human being, and I love and accept myself exactly as I am. The more we start focusing on that story of who we are, and we do it persistently, so we're not allowing those negative thoughts to come in, the more we will stop that level of behavior that is triggering us to come to us, because we would have raised our standard. Vibrationally, you cannot attract people that are down here if you are up here. It's impossible. You can't do it. Like attracts like. You attract what you are. You attract who you are, not what you want. And again, I'm proof of that. So when you change your self-concept, when you understand what those feelings are, and you can release them by revising the story, understanding why they're there, but revising the story, you literally have freed yourself. It's like releasing yourself from prison. You've got the key. The key is the trigger. The key is the trigger. Is whether you're prepared to put it in the lock and open the door and walk through to a new world that you can create by creating the new you. I intend that has helped those of you out there that get triggered like I used to. If you would like to find out more about support on your triggers, again, you can get in touch. I offer a variety of one-on-one and group coaching solutions for you. Or you can send me an email at natalie@asapenniesdrop.com. And as always, please feel free to like, share and comment. And your compliments are always really welcome too. And as always, please subscribe so we can keep this channel going, and your support is incredible. So that's it for me today, everybody. Take care, and I'll be back soon.